Hey everyone, Luke here, and after the emotion of the last chapter between Kuryu and Hibana, we now are getting into flashback territory with Shikimiya and what looks to be Horotafista Juru. Only she's not called Horotafista in these chapters, but my god. You think Bone Crisis Part whatever is a mouthful to get through? Check out the title of chapter 255, Bone Crisis Part 24, Memories of Rose Wither Part 1. Oh my god, it's like the Attack on Titan anime again. Final season Part 3 Part 1. It's like, come on, can't we do any better? Couldn't we have done any better? Couldn't we have at least waited until the end of Bone Crisis before we got to this flashback so that we could have Memories of Rose Wither Part 1 and had like a mini flashback arc? But I digress. Weird numbering aside, we kick off from where we left off with Mori going into Shikimiya's mind and it's flowing into his as we hear Alex Doris and Mori's like, who's that? It's like, as we have someone saying like, I love you too, Rose Wither. That as Mori's like, oh, that one was a male's voice and the one before was a female's voice. As we have as we cut to the flashback to many years ago, like over 150 years ago, as we have townsfolk like looking like something out of the medieval age, like something out of Beauty and the Beast, like or the witchcraft ages, where really great attention to detail of trying to get those outfits to fit with the time period compared to like the modern day with the jeans and the jackets and the t-shirts. Like here, like proper dresses, proper farmyard here, as we have the character of Rose Wither going around and everyone's like, oh, morning, your smile today is always so magnificent, as Rose is like, oh, good morning, Elder. And I can't help but stress enough here of just the fact that we have a character called Rose and a character called Alex, considering Rose is the name of my grandmother and Alex is the name of one of my brothers. That's kind of like funny when I think about it. But yeah, the townsfolk are going around like calling Rose, oh, hi Rose, oh, you're so great, you're so majestic, everything. As Rose like, oh, good morning, Mr. Oswald. As we have a guy who looks very similar to Shikimiya, although kind of looking a little bit like Mori in this flashback, as he's like, oh, hi Rose. And we have another girl who we saw with Rose and this guy at the end of the last chapter, where she's like, oh, morning, as she addresses them as Alex and Fita, and they're like, oh, nice morning and everything, and Alex like, yes, after all the rain, yeah, did you hear about the water wheel? It's broken. And they're like, yeah, Mr. Mario's trying to repair it, but it's just not working. Oh dear, that's a problem. As we get the caption of like the 16th century, there was a little town tucked away in the corner of Europe, found by refugees who drifted there from across the continent. So yeah, taking place in So taking place in like the 1700s, as we see Rose pick up something that Alex has dropped, as she says, Alexandros, do you carve your own name onto this piece of wood? So yeah, this guy is Alex Doris, but screw it, I'm calling him Alex. It's just better to use that, consider it's the name of my brother. Like, it's just easy for me to say. So yeah, she's like, oh, Alex, did you carve your own name into this piece of wood? Before she realizes, like, oh, it's Alex and Rose, kind of hinting that Alex here has feelings for Rose and kind of like wants to be with her. He realized that his name is spelled with both our nicknames and wrote it out as Rose is like, oh, you're such a softie and everything. Oh, it's so cute. And I actually like, me? What are you talking about? And Rose says, oh, nothing. No, clear clearly not. So, little bit of comic relief there. Before we have Vita looking down the route as the rope snapped and the bucket fell into the water, and there's no getting it back. So like they're like, oh, what do we do? What do we do in this situation? We can't get the bucket. We can't get the water out of the well. Like, oh, this is gonna be a troubling times for us. As Alex is like, oh, I'll let the Elder know. As Rose's like, no, wait, I've had odd things happening around me lately. I can just feel it, I guess. For some reason, I have special power. I have special powers now. So kind of hinting at the fact that there's more going on with Rose than is led to believe here as well. I wonder who she's gonna be. So continuing on, we have Rose closing her eyes and concentrating for a moment as she'll have to believe and will it to rise. As Alex says, oh, this isn't going to work. You know what? Get that to budge even a finger. As she's like, oh, quiet, Alex, just let me focus here. And sure enough, as she focuses, we see the bucket rise up out of it. All three of them are completely shocked and stunned by this, as we have them going like, what's this? Like, what's all that? Like, oh my god, like, is this actually magic? Can we actually use magic here? And as Rose is saying this, Alex is like, you better shut up right now. Like, you must be saying that out loud. You know what's going on here, because this is the point where we're in the flashback where it's the Great Witches' Hunts that were going on, where Drew actually was set on fire and killed, or Hortefista was killed, and we see them all running through a field as like there are witch hunts going on here. If Church and Krista suspect anyone here of having used any magic, they'll execute them. Like, they'll straight up just like, what we got? We cannot let that happen, because I heard they burn a girl at stake for that in a finish to the west. So yeah, we cannot let anyone know about what's going on here. You must never use that power anywhere where anyone can see it, Rose. We'll keep it a secret just between the three of us. And I do like the dynamic that's going on here, because it very much is very reminiscent of kind of like a similar dynamic that would be going on with Maureen, Nico, and a few others here. Of like, but instead of it being a dynamic of like where they have to keep it secret, it's a dynamic of where it would have to be accepted. Like very parallel storytelling there, and we have Vita saying like, yeah, of course, I won't tell anyone. And is it just me, or does Rose look a little bit like Nemu in this flashback here? Whereas obviously Vita kind of looks like certain other characters, and Alex is obviously from what we're getting at here, Shakimia, but also looking a little bit like Mori in these chapters. Yeah, tell me I'm not crazy that Rose looks very similar to Nemu in this chapter. But as Rose is hearing all of this, like, oh, just leave it between us. We'll keep a secret. Yeah, we won't tell anyone. Rose is a little bit unsure about this, like, because she's actually like, no. If I've got these powers, I want to use them. I don't care if I could be executed or not. There really are so many ways I can help people with it. Everyone in the village has problems, so surely this isn't witchcraft. Because if it was, it would be a little bit. It wouldn't be something as trivial as like, oh, just lifting a bucket out of a well. God has granted me these powers of miracles, so I can help people. I can help them with their lives and make their lives better. And that's good. That could count for something. And as Alex and Vita are hearing this, they're like, oh, well, yeah, she does kind of have a point there, and that's kind of Rose. We're always thinking about others. So okay, fine, we'll help you. And yeah, I do like that, how they see this as like, no, this is not something that we should fear. This is something that we should accept, because it can help people out. Kind of like what Nico feels like when she was first introduced, when we first got introduced to her at the beginning of the series. Like, no, she wants to use her powers to help people. It's just her powers go incredibly wrong. And now we're getting something similar, where it's like, no, these powers are feared. There's something that needs to be feared, but no, we can use them for good. It's like, okay, we'll help you. So yeah, as this happened, we see them all going around fixing the various problems, ranging from the water wheel was being fixed, and the fallen trees blocking the road are gone, and they're wondering like, oh, who did all of this? Who moved all of them? And the stone wall was repaired, and the sheep that escaped has come back. So they're like, what? Who's going on here? How is this happening? Like they fixed it right away. Like how is this happening? Like all this happening. What's going on here? As the church bells haven't rung in so long, so God has worked a miracle. That's what the villagers are saying. Like, oh, church bells haven't rung in so long, so God has worked a miracle. It's a miracle that God has given to us. As Rose thanks Alex and Vita and appreciate their help, and Vita's like, oh come on, the three of us have been together since we were little, so we know each other. We know that we're gonna always have our backs for each other, and you needed someone to keep watch. We can't have the other spotting you. As Vita says, like, your magic is doing a lot to help the whole village. I think that's amazing. As Rose blushes, like probably thinking like, oh shucks, you guys are the best. Like nothing can break us apart. So as the three of them are discussing these events, we have someone approach them as like, oh, so that's what it is. That's what you guys are going on about. As it turns out, it's the elder of the village. As he goes, oh, I knew something strange had to be afoot. And he just straight up asks her, it's like, Rose, are you a witch? Like, just straight up asking it, because he knows how serious this is. Like, yes, he probably saw it at first, like, oh, this is a miracle, this is great, like, whoever did this, thank you. But then he is probably in his mind, like, wait a minute, is it possible for anyone to have done this in and then that's probably what clicked with him, and then he probably was like getting really agitated. They're gonna find us. They're gonna come here. They're gonna pillage our village just to find this one witch to burn her at the stake. So I have to find out who it is quite quickly so that I can like get them talking to them. As and as he asks her, Rose says like, "Oh, please don't say it, please." As he goes on and says, "Others in the village are starting to catch on. But we're all your friends. Not everyone is content to help others in secret without tooting their own horn afterwards. And we all know that you have a heart of gold. Perhaps it was God's will that you have these powers." So it does seem like he's not gonna like rat them out or hand them over, as long as they like, okay, you got to keep a low profile here, because if this gets out, then we are all screwed. And yeah. Probably at that point he's thinking like, I can't save them, so we need to keep this under the radar before people start catching on that something is going on here. So best keep it a secret. As he goes on and says, but not everyone will think that way, especially the church. If they hear of so many miracles in our little village, that could be problems. We can't let these rumors spread yet. So basically, like I said, keep it under the radar. Don't let this get out of the village whatsoever. Pull back from using all these miracles, as they kind of sit this and say thank you so much, Elder. As we get memories, as we get narration saying Rose loved her village, the villagers loved her, for a time that little miracle stayed safe, but in the end it was also love that destroyed their peace. So yeah, we're gonna find out like, yeah, Rose is not the nicest person, as we'll soon find out. As we cut to some time later where we have Rose and Alex together, and she's like, "Hey Alex, I've actually found something of yours here. You dropped this the other day." And I said, "Oh my god, I can't believe you found that." And in her mind, she's probably like, "Oh, he's got a crush on me," and that's what I assumed when I first read it. Like, oh, Alex has got a crush on her, and I assumed like Rose was going to be revealed to be Drew or Feaster. But no, I should have seen the signs right. I should have seen the signs right off the back when we get to the big reveal of this chapter. So Rose thinks Alex is in love with her, and she's like, "Oh, shy, oh, precious." Like, yeah, can I ask you a question? Like, did you write this about us? And Alex is just there, like just straight face, like probably more on Maury's level, just straight face, blunt. No, like he literally just says it, like, "No, this wasn't for us." And Rose is shocked by this, like, what do you mean it's not for us? And this is where Alex is like, oh, you saw Ross and you thought that meant Rose. You thought it was saying Alex and Rose. But Alex feels like, no, that's from Theta's name. Yes, I should have guessed it here. Theta. Let's just get to it. Before Rose goes into a flashback of her own back to their childhood. So probably the earliest we see Alex and these characters, probably the earliest we are ever going to see them. As they're like, oh, you're the new girl I heard from the geometric region. Can you speak English at all? What's your name? And this is where Vita hands over a piece of paper to Alex. It's like, Ross with a. Was River, huh? And as we all know, who has a name similar to that? Hortafita. I should have guessed it right away. Like the fact that her name had Fita in it, and Horfita Juru had that name in. I should have got, yep. Fita is Juru. She's the witch that predecessed Nico, like started this whole series, started all this great mage war and everything. Yeah, she's Juru, and I do like the switch of expectation. Oh, you think that Rose is Rosefita, that is going to be Horfista, that's going to be Juru. Oh, you think about that? No, let's make it the shy, quiet girl, the unassuming one, because yeah, that's what all great storytelling does, makes the unassuming one the one that we need to watch out for. So as Alex is reading her name, he just turns to Rose, like, oh, let's call her Ross, and Rose, they're like, yeah, let's not. You already call me Rose because my name's Rosamund. It'll get confused again. I should say, like, okay then, like, how about this? You have with A in your name, so like, why don't we just call you Fita then? Nice to meet you, Fita. And she obviously takes that name, takes a like into it, and he says, my name is Alexander Ross, and you can split that out to Alex and Ross. So great pun name. Half sarcastic, half true, but yeah, great pun's name, because it works with her too. Ross with Ray, so Alex and Ross, or Alex with Ross. And Alex goes on to explain that when we found out both our names held each other, it was a sweet moment. We even wrote them out on tags as lucky charms. As we see Rose not saying anything, but like you can tell like just what's going on here, as she's thinking like, don't say it. Whatever you do not say that, because I know exactly what you're going to say, and I don't want to hear it. As he goes on to say, I don't call her Fita anymore, you know. Ever since we pledged to marry each other, I've called her Ross with A. As we see, even though we see Ross with A, really shining, really glamorous looking, sweet. We see at the bottom of the panel, the last panel of the chapter, the sheer anger, probably betrayal, probably jealousy that's just emanating off Rose of like, oh, you sons of bitches, you did this to me, you got my hopes up for a loving relationship, and now you two had to turn your back. Like, you've known me longer than this girl. Like, she's probably thinking in her mind, you've known me longer than this girl, and yet you've gone after this girl when you had me here. Oh, I'm not gonna let you get away with this. And that's where chapter ends. So yeah, really good start to the flashback, like getting to see these characters, getting to see a different time from what we've heard before of just like, oh, it was a great mage war, lots of blood, lots of carnage on either side, and yeah, really getting to see the calm before the storm, which is what's gonna happen in the next chapter. But yeah, so we'll just move right on to that one. So anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.